The next question is from Aksa. She asks, what does Marx have to say about people who neither produce value nor appropriate it, such as children, elderly, the severely ill or disabled? Does workers controlling surplus help them too?
Thank you very much, Aksa. That's a very, very good question. And I'm going to answer it two steps. The first is the practical kind of question that Marx dealt with in this, shall I call it a pamphlet? I'm not sure, an essay, whatever, forget the word. This thing called the Critique of the Gotha Program, the Critique of the Gotha Program. And in that Critique of the Gotha Program, basically Lassalle, this other socialist guy, lovely, amazing person, had written the Gotha Program, and Marx presents his feedback, his critical analysis to Lassalle and the Lassallians. And in that particular piece, Marx talks about this particular issue. He says that in a socialist society or in a socialist way of organizing a business, workers are going to get V plus S. But of the product that they get, the total output that they receive, because they're making decisions about it, one part of it is going to have to be set aside to replace the depreciated means of production. Do you agree? One part of it has to replace the pans and the mozzarella and the cheese that we used in the last circuit so that we can make more pizzas next year. Okay. One part of it has to be set aside for children's education, for the education of a new generation of our community. One part of it has to be set aside for people who are, for whatever reason, dependents on, for whatever reason, they're elderly, they're disabled, etc., etc. So a part, Marx says, has to be set aside in every society, by the way. Capitalism has to do the same thing as well. Every society has to set aside a part of the surplus for these social security distributions. So if capitalism is going to make those distributions, as you guys know, in advanced capitalist countries, high school education is free, right? So that is an example of non-capitalist production that is going to exist in every society. And socialists and communists are only going to extend that further with the universal basic income. So absolutely, the answer to your question is Marx addresses that issue. And the difference between, by the way, dependents, children and adults who receive the surplus but don't produce it, and Elon Musk and Warren Buffett and the board of directors of Microsoft, what's the difference between them? What's the difference between the capitalist who receives value without producing it and the dependent who receives value without receiving it? What's the difference? In one case, the direct producer, him or herself, made the distributions to the children and the dependents, while in the other case, he took it from me, right? So here's the point. How we, as the community of direct producers, choose to distribute our surplus is up to us. Whether we take the surplus and give it to an animal rights organization, or whether we take the surplus and throw it in the oceans. जिस उर्दू में कहते हैं हम काले चोर को देते हैं बेशक. It's our choice. It's not Elon Musk's choice. It's not Warren Buffett's choice. It's not Satya Nadal's choice. It's not Sundar Pichai's choice. It's the board of directors of the workers who did the work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. If they want to give the value to a charity, they can do it. If they want to turn it into a trip to the Bahamas, they can do that. It's up to them. It's a democracy extended to the workplace. Hence the name of the organization, Democracy at Work.